Iryna Zarutska fled war in Ukraine seeking safety in Charlotte, North Carolina. But on August 22, 2025, her American dream ended in tragedy. She was stabbed to death on a light rail train. The accused, DeCarlos DeJuan Brown Jr., was charged with committing a deadly act on public transit. This wasn't a personal dispute, it was a random, brutal attack on an innocent commuter. Riding public transit, something millions do daily, became a death sentence. How did a refugee become more vulnerable here than in a war zone? This is not a complicated issue. It's a failure of leadership and a breakdown of government's basic duty to protect its people. Iryna's death is more than a headline. It's a warning about the consequences of policies that fail to keep violent offenders off the streets. Her name should remind us what's at stake when public safety is neglected. We owe it to her to demand real change. Who is DeCarlos DeJuan Brown Jr.? Not a first-time offender but a career criminal, arrested 14 times in a decade. He served 6 years for armed robbery but was released, deemed no longer a threat. In January 2025, months before the murder, he was charged again, this time for misusing 911, making bizarre claims about being controlled by a microchip. Despite clear signs of mental distress and a violent history, he was released on cashless bail, with only a promise to appear in court. Prosecutors questioned his mental fitness. A judge ordered evaluation, but he wasn't detained. At the time of Iryna's murder, Brown was unsupervised and free. The system had every chance to intervene, and failed at every turn. This isn't a single mistake, it's the result of policies that prioritize bail reform over public safety. Dangerous offenders are released with little oversight, and tragedy becomes inevitable. The revolving door of justice puts innocent lives at risk. Iryna paid the ultimate price for this broken system. After the tragedy, the suspect's mother spoke out. She didn't excuse her son's actions. She called what he did atrocious, and insisted he should have been in jail. She saw his mental decline, and warned he was a danger to himself and others. Her plea wasn't for leniency but for competency, a system that would have kept her son, and the public, safe. She knew true compassion meant keeping him off the streets. But the system let him go, ignoring the warnings of those who knew him best. Her words cut through the noise. When even the killer's mother says he should have been locked up, who are the experts to argue? The system's ideology blinded it to reality, and now a family mourns a daughter lost forever. This is the cost of ignoring common sense. The Trump White House saw Iryna's murder as a direct result of failed policies. Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt called out the media for ignoring the story because it didn't fit their narrative. She argued this wasn't just a crime, it was a political failure of Democrat-led policies. White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said it simply, "Violent criminals belong behind bars, not beside innocent people on public transit." The administration criticized media coverage, highlighting the disconnect between common sense and expert opinion. Leavitt mocked the idea that locking up violent offenders is draconian, pointing out both the White House and the killer's mother agreed he should have been incarcerated. Another spokeswoman, Taylor Rogers, accused the media of defending criminals over victims. The White House drew a clear line. Justice means protecting the innocent by incapacitating the guilty. The media, they argued, seemed more interested in the perpetrator's rights than the victims. This is a fundamental disagreement about the purpose of justice. This tragedy sparked a national debate with clear sides. On one, the White House, the suspect's mother, and millions who believe public safety must come first. They see Brown's record and mental instability and know he should have been in custody. On the other, media outlets and experts who argue that confining the mentally ill for minor offenses is inhumane. But Iryna had rights too, the most basic, the right to live. This isn't a debate between two equal positions, it's reality versus ideology. The system's failure to act cost a life. How many more before we demand change? We must choose, a justice system that protects citizens, or one that protects criminals. The future depends on that choice.